Well, good morning, everybody. It's Barry Kleiman. Yesterday, I really had a bit of fun. I hope it translated. I was trying to tell a joke about Austin Powers and Reid Hoffman, the LinkedIn co-founder, and David Bowie, and just trying to illuminate some of the things that we have been talking about and use examples, talking about success leaving clues, which is a very, very important concept. I hope you saw it. I put a video at the end. I'm sorry, a link to a video at the end that was a great, great, impactful speech, a seminar really by a gentleman named Jim Rohn. And Jim's passed away, but one of his kind of archetype comments was success leaves clues. And indeed it does. And so much of what I'm trying to share here is about clues that I've learned, success leaving clues. One of the things we spotlighted yesterday was Reid's book, The Startup of You. You know, change, as you know, is a constant. Reid wrote a book back in again, he's a LinkedIn co-founder. Excuse me. He wrote a book back in 2012 that was very, very timely, called The Startup of You, and it was so timely and had such a sense of urgency in its message that he realized he had to rewrite an updated version because the concept of a startup of you is just changing drastically. The world is just flying. AI, just we're moving at warp speed right now, and we humans have to adjust. The Startup of You, a little bit like the book I wrote, actually, in some ways, a lot like it, is it's not a book about resumes or cover letters or any of that. Really, it's about best practices, Reid's book. And again, as is mine, about what entrepreneurs do to really keep up with the times. Entrepreneurs know that, and we're all our own entrepreneur, right? The Startup of You. And entrepreneurs know that their ultimate success is directly related to the value that they provide. It comes back to a little bit of my comment. It's not what you know, it's who knows what you know. I think it's not what you know, it's who you know is a little bit backward. And what was her name? Elizabeth Holmes, who was the founder of Theranos, proved that it's not what you know, it's who you know. She duped so many people that she knew. She just duped them. And she's now serving a huge block of time in prison for her overexploitation of who she knew without providing any value on the back end. Yes, you need to know people. Of course, you know me. Connection, concierge, connect. Probably sick of hearing me talk about it. But as you connect, you really want to understand that you're doing it on a one-to-one basis. Human nature is human nature is human nature. I was taught this again by Jay Abraham a bunch of years ago. It's kind of etched in my brain. I was reading a quote. I got to look it up here. Current evidence supports that modern Homo sapiens appeared around 190,000 BCE. I don't even know when that was, but it's a long, long freaking time ago. We've been around this planet for a long time, and ultimately, since then, it hasn't changed. We have very almost indelible, inarguable kind of wants and needs. There's a guy named Maslow who talked about our hierarchy of needs. We have to address that. Again, people have this hierarchy. We need certain things. And there's a guy, where I'm going with all this, and again, is this book and The Startup of You talks about entrepreneurs. Ultimately, entrepreneurs, again, are trying to provide value. There's a gentleman named Mark Joyner. Again, I can put a link to his book. I have a PDF copy of it, and I think he really wants it shared now. But he wrote a book a bunch of years ago called The Irresistible Offer. And I've talked about this a bunch. I can read it to you in the next 90 seconds. Again, keep on top of mind, human nature is human nature. It's human nature. So Joyner says that whenever two people come together to do business of any sort, whether it's a multi-million-dollar deal or where you and your significant other are going to go to dinner that night. The listener, as soon as they hear this pitch being made, there's a tape that starts to whir in their brain. Written a while ago, there was a recording tape back then, not digital recorders. He said the tape begins to ask 4 questions. And I'm going to bet that you're starting to ask those 4 questions right now as I'm telling this story. And it says, what are you selling? What are you trying to sell me here, Barry? What are you talking to me about human nature? What's it going to cost me? In this case, it's not going to cost you a nickel because I'm giving it away for free, of course. Why should I believe you? And what's in it for me? And that's the tape, right? That's when someone pitches anything to you. What are you selling? What's it going to cost me? Why should I believe you? And what did somebody once say? The big one, the East Coast radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? That's it. That's the book. I'm done. He does go on to say that to the extent that you can answer those questions as you're making your proposal to somebody, if you can answer them inside a proposal, then your chances of winning or it being accepted are higher because the questions won't linger. But if you just walk away and those questions are sitting there, they're going to sit there and fester. It's human nature. Doubt, doubt, doubt. So don't leave doubt. It's like I was going to say to my wife, hey, let's go to Zaytoun. It's one of my favorite Mediterranean restaurants. Let's go to Zaytoun for dinner tonight. I know you said you liked it last time. I really have a hankering for it, but just so you know, I already made a reservation for La Mexicana for Friday, so we can go both because I know you've been hankering for Mexican food. So my pitch is you're going to get your Mexican already. It's already on the calendar, and let's do this. That was my pitch. And of course, I'm buying. What's in it for me? What's it going to cost you? 0. Maybe a silly example, but that's the idea. So, hey, you know what? I really had a hankering for Mediterranean food. My treat tonight and my treat Friday, because I already have a reservation for where I know you wanted to go. I hope it makes sense. Human nature is human nature is human nature. It's never going to change. There's that lyric from the Police song, I hope that someone finds my message in a bottle. As you make your messaging, don't make hope your strategy. Again, whether it's in your business life, your job interviews, or dinner with your spouse, don't make hope a strategy. Human nature is unyielding. It's not what you know, it's who knows what you know. And if somebody knows that you know, appreciate them and can provide for them what's in it for them, you will win. You will do better. You will become more connected. Hope this makes sense. If none of it does, I'll put a link in the chat to the gentleman named Joe Polish, who runs one of maybe the highest priced networking group in the world called the Genius Network. He wrote a great book called What's in It for Them. So if you don't believe me, Joe's a highly esteemed guy. Read his book, What's in It for Them. It discusses all this in detail. So the startup of you is real. Human nature is real. Marketing matters, back to what this book is all about, and we can get into other messaging modes now, but understand what you're dealing with and you'll be far better off, and your startup of you will be more successful. Stay safe, everybody. I hope this all makes sense. Be well.